How you doing? My name is Thunder, welcoming you to a one-off, pretty much, because all this really deserves is one part to really show off the game. This is Big Rigs Over-the-Road Racing, a game that's very, very infamous for being widely conceived as one of the worst games ever made. And in this video, you're going to see why exactly that is. But before I get into it, I just like to show off from the options that all you get are 4 different quality settings. The first 2 of which you can't actually go to high. They can only go to normal. And for the effects quality and nature density, they can go to high, but they're glitched together, so they both activate at the same time. You can apply it for the changes, but they don't actually save. You have to do it every time. There's a high score menu, which isn't really of any purpose, and then there's the credits, which I want to show off two names here. Sergey Titov, who produced it and what was also part of programming, and sound. And just the sound, basically. Sergey Titov would eventually go on to make another game, in fact, called The War Z, or The War Z, where I would be. Probably most be The War Z. And it was pretty awful. It was a terrible game. It was, again, also considered one of the worst games ever made. So Titov seems to have a very good stranglehold in a certain amount of position of making pretty pathetic video games. And then the sound by Alex Burton was by Alex Burton. Keep in mind about the sound. Just keep very good mind about the sound, as you will find out. So we have 4 different trucks here. We have Thunder, my truck basically, clearly. We have the Mega 1, we have the Thunderbolt, and we have the Sunrise W12. As you notice, the first 3 trucks here, they all have like the same front end, so they just kind of did much of like a copy paste and then just edited it around slightly. So, oops. The Sunrise W12 is the only one that's any different. Yeah, so we're gonna have the Sunrise. We're gonna go with the Thunder here, and we got 5 tracks. We've got Devil Passage 2, Forgotten Road 1, which I don't know why they put a 1 there. Plus, it's the only Forgotten Road. There's no Forgotten Road 2. There's Night Ride, and then there's Small Town Road. I'm just gonna do it from left to right, except for Night Ride. I'm gonna save Night Ride in particular for last, but first off, we're going to go with Devil Passage. And I also like to notice that if you could probably see right there, there's a car in the middle of the loading screen, because apparently cars are in this game, except there's no cars. It's just 2 trucks, one of which, as you're about to see in this unpatched version of the game, doesn't move. He just completely sits there doing absolutely nothing. So there's going to be 2 quick things that I'm also going to show off. F1 for like controls, which is like, what's the point really? And then this one that I don't think a lot of people actually know about is there's actually a free camera mode, which you can move around with the WASD keys, and then you can use shift to go faster. And that's all I know. Oh god, what the hell happened? Oh, the game just crashed. That's the first of a crash that we just got. Oh boy, this game has a very good, it has a very good stability. It loves to crash, and usually when it does crash, it still, nope, okay, not this time, but there's many cases where the game will crash and it doesn't actually end the task. It leaves a task running on your computer, so basically you gotta close it down in fucking the task manager. And in my computer, it can take up about a quarter of the CPU, which is, for a game like this, absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, this game crashes all the fucking time. It crashes a lot. But anyways, let's go back to Thunder and Devil Passage and do an actual lap of this. Alright. So basically, like I said, he doesn't move. And I'm gonna just show one of the first problems with this game. You can go through everything. Nothing except for the ground itself is solid. You also probably will be noticing that we'll show pretty soon. The roads are very bumpy, and the textures seem to be falling apart like magic. They're not programmed very well at all. Also, what's not programmed very well is the time and the PNT or penalty. Notice pretty much that it goes off the borders, and same with the speedo a little bit. You have such a huge speedometer, even though this car in Ford, mind you, will never reach 160. Reverse is a different story though, but we'll get to that later. Now, I'm mostly just gonna quickly just show some laps around, just quickly show around the lap, and then, you know, after I show the final track, I'm going to go to the patched version of the game, and I'm going to install the patch, and I'm going to show you pretty much exactly what the patch does. But yeah, you can see how much my truck's just shaking and all that stuff, even though the road isn't that bumpy at all. The controls is also... There's quite a bit of a delay. And as I'm going to just quickly just show here, you can go up steep hills, like pretty much at literally 90 degrees, and you won't ever slow down. You lose absolutely zero speed by doing that, which is absolutely ridiculous. But pretty much just being able to go through all of these, it's amazing that we've never really heard anybody who did actually work on this game say anything about it. Like, it's just been one of these games of sheer mystery for like 12 years since it's released in 2003. Like, we never really know why it was released in such a state, or what was the idea to make such a game. It just never got anywhere, and it's just, this is what we were left with, and it's just, oh boy, is it bad. Funny thing is, I actually have a friend who owns this game, like an actual copy of it, and he didn't even own it intentionally, because he owned it not realizing how bad this game was. Also, there's like a helicopter here, which if you go through the helicopter, the camera clips up a bit, then goes right down, and of course, more me climbing through the mountains. But don't worry, it gets better. There's more things to show off. This game also has a little bit of a stuttering thing. It just seems to be like a weird thing. You won't see it much on the video, but because 30 frames per second. But in person, I tend to notice it. And when we finish, we get this infamous message simply titled "Your winner." Wonderful. It's just great. And of course, no high score saves because oops. So what I actually have to do at this point now is I gotta quit the game and start it again, because if I just go into another race, what'll happen is it'll just automatically trigger the "Your winner" screen and nothing will ever happen. So I will be back. So pretty much Devil Passage 2 isn't very special either. It just looks an awful lot like Devil Passage 1, just in a slightly different area. All this, it's a little easier to see than Devil Passage 1, but that's still not saying much. There's another helicopter there, which will probably do the same thing. Let me see. In fact, let me see. It's also not as many checkpoints for this one. Also, the hell is that sticking? The hell is it? It's partially going through the tree. They didn't even model that properly. It's going through the tree a little bit, which is kind of sad. Yep, there's a little stop station there, but no one's obviously there, and the buildings they're not solid. So what's the point? Also, I like to mention too that on the back of the cover, it's mentioned that you're facing opponents, and the police are trying to hunt you down. You're trying to stay one step above the law. Except there's no police. There's none of that. Also, the sound. Yeah, there's no sound. I don't have the sound turned off in this game. There is none. There is zero sound. This is a very silent game, which would have been perhaps great during the silent film period. Just show it off during then. And you could... Oh, and okay, this is a really good one. Look how steep this is. Look how I just easily went over that. Like, no problem whatsoever. It just shot up, and that's what happened. Oh man, it's just, oh boy, such ridiculousness with this game. Also, I'd like to mention that this game is running at 800 by 600, and though there is a setting, like a config where you actually can up the resolution, I don't recommend doing it because the game doesn't properly support it. Mostly leaves you with much of a black screen, and the game being at the left, and the speedometer actually it literally goes off. The actual numbers thing literally it just sits in the middle of the screen for some reason. Also, my God, notice how wow, really glitchy there. And we're pretty much almost done. So, but yeah, pretty much 80 miles an hour is pretty much the most you're gonna do. in these vehicles. I mean, 81 perhaps if you want to be even closer, but you know. But yeah, you're a winner again. I continue to keep winning because there's no race. So, anyways, gotta do the restart. Alright, without question, the most infamous track in the game. Notice how right away we get this really crazy colored light post, which doesn't make sense because it's daytime. Also, here's a bridge. We fell through the bridge. Also, notice how it's daytime. And we still got, like, nighttime brake lights on, which I'll try to show off. And also, the stuttering issue that I mentioned before is really prevalent on this track. It seems to be more frequent here. Also, just look at how much that's glitching up. Just wow. Yeah, this is like there is so much stutter going on this track right now. It's like you're probably gonna see it, but it keeps temporarily pausing and then just like it sends my truck back a little bit and then just goes back. I don't think it was doing that on the other tracks. I don't know why it's just this one where it's doing it. It's just it's absolutely ridiculous to say the least. Like I've never seen this before. There's just so many problems with this game. Also, keep in mind, look at this. Another completely, like, just right up we go. And then just no barriers, so we get to go off in the invisible nothingness, and our truck's just going absolutely mental. Just because it's just, wow. I actually have no idea why it's doing this so much stuttering. I've never seen it this bad before. Not that I really play this game. I barely ever touch this game. I just wanted to do it as like a fun little one-off thing for the channel. But yeah, you can just see oh god, it's not good. People like to jokingly proclaim this is one of the greatest games of all time, but even they have to be thinking, yeah, I can't be actually seriously say that. Also, another bridge, by the way, which you just go through again, unsurprisingly. My god, just watching this thing just go at about 81 miles an hour and then just whoop, 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 like that. It's like, what is that about? I'm wondering if one of the processes for this game actually didn't stop, and that's what's causing this. Oh man, this is just nuts. Anyways, your winner. Your winner for probably the most mental mindfuck on my vision ever. Anyways, we got one more track left to go. Technically two, but you'll see what I mean. Okay. Also, notice how there we got the actually no, never mind. I guess it's just a camera perspective thing. Oh boy, the star's not much better on this one too. I guess it's a little bit, but still, it's not really anything better. But yeah, Small Town Road is by far the most simplistic and boring of the available tracks. Although this time these little like textures, this time instead of actually being something you climb up, they just don't exist, and the camera just keeps trying to swoop up, so it can pretty much disappear into this. It's ridiculous to say the least. Like this time we actually have like hills and peaks, and this time there's not even any textures for them. That you literally go through those, so it's like, wow, it's just, oh boy, it's pretty bad. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting kind of bored here. I'm going to stop this car for a second, and if you hold either down or if you hold space down as well, notice how much faster I'm going now, which is really hard to control. Like I'm having a lot of trouble with this right now. Your truck, sorry, and when it goes backwards, there is no speed limit. There's no cap. The game doesn't have any program to tell it, okay, this is how fast that this will be able to go backwards. So, and because your truck is so finicky, it easily moves around, so it's so hard to really gain any proper control for it. So you kind of have to keep doing like this or something, and it's like, ugh, I I don't like it. Now here's another interesting thing too that you probably have been also noticing. If I hold this and I let go, instant stop. But there's also a way around that. Hold up and it gradually slows down. But you let go, immediately it stops. It's just, oh Jesus. Why am I doing this? Why am I playing this sometimes? I'm questioning why I decided to do like a stupid video about this, but I guess I'm just crazy enough to want to, you know, do something with it. But oh, fucking hell. It's so bad. But anyways, as you can see here, we're coming to the finish. Your winner, all that special jazz, and voila. And pretty much, and here's the last thing I'm going to show off. I'm just going to, it doesn't really matter what we choose. Here's the best part about Night Ride. The game crashes. Night Ride crashes when you try to select the track. Night Ride doesn't exist. I've actually gone through the files in the game to figure out why it crashes, and as it pretty much turns out, there is no files for the game. For the track, there's nothing. It doesn't exist. Like what the files that they're supposed to be there to tell it to load the track, they don't, for some reason they don't exist with Night Ride. They just don't. So yeah, that is pretty much Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, although we aren't necessarily done just yet, because we have, of course, there's a patch for this game. A pretty interesting patch, to say the least, and I'm going to install it. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this right now, not something just didn't like glitch up. So note that now with the high score thing, there actually is like a list of like dots, which actually do fill up when you do races. This still has completely not changed and doesn't seem to make a difference. The credits are still the same. Pretty much the trucks are all still the same. So we're gonna go with the Mega 1. Well, I'll go to Forgotten Road 1 because just to show off something here. Something tremendous that the patch has actually been capable of managing to pull off. It's a tremendous achievement that no other patch could ever conceive of. It's so incredible. Are you waiting for this? Look at that. The AI moves. The AI actually moves. And oh, that swooping effect still is crazy on the eyes. And also notice that there's some sound now. There actually exists a sound. Not that it's very good, but it does exist. You still go through everything though. You still have like no texture. You still climb up mountains at like 90 degrees with no effort, with no problem, whatever. There's an annoying brake sound. You can still go backwards at like the speed of everything. There's still no barrier. You get this constant sound when you go this fast. Oh my god, kill me now. Huzzah, this is a game. Although to be fair, I don't know if this should even technically qualify as a game. And by the way, I can keep doing this. I can just keep going forever with this if I wanted to. Just look at what you're seeing right now. Look at this and tell me you are not afraid of the madness that this game causes upon people. Anyways, that's enough of that. Also, yes, as you notice, I exit and it says quit the windows. It just takes you back to the menu. So I'm going to quickly show off Night Ride again. Believe it or not, it's pretty much just Devil Passage. Again. To my understanding, I think it looks like Devil Passage 2, so... Just, yeah. Brilliant. This game, all put in one sense. Also, I've noticed that because I'm mashing like buttons here on my thing, on my keyboard. There's that free camera mode seems to be gone, which is kind of unfortunate. Kind of like that, because no one really ever showed it off for, and but it does not seem to exist anymore. But yep, so I'm just gonna have to safely say this has been Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. Without question, one of the worst, if you want to call it, games to ever exist. And now I'm just gonna go so far that my truck's gonna eventually disappear at some point. That'll be the way to send it off. You know, once we eventually get there, it's gonna take a bit. Also notice how much the truck moves at the speed. And this constant sound just never stops, and it's really annoying to listen to. I'm guessing like the text that's added in the patch is just like it's basically meant to say where you are. And yep, you're seeing that I am going now negative 5,000 miles an hour, and I could keep going if I wanted to. Just, it never ends. Come on, I gotta disappear at some point. No, I guess I'm not gonna disappear. Oh well, whatever. So that was Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. In short, play it if you'd like to just have some bit of ridiculous fun with friends. Don't actually play it if you're trying to have a good time, because unless you find stuff like this a good time. But anyways, in the meantime, guys, thank you guys for watching. There will obviously be better games than this on the channel, and but yep. And as always, take care. Oh boy. Oh, and I thought I'd like to mention at the end of this video that as soon as I ended the game, it crashed. See you guys.